Welcome back to Drug Points, everybody. This is Ron, and this is another cheap game spotlight. However, I should mention several of the games you have already seen on other lists, starting, of course, with McPixel. Now, I picked all these games, just to explain it, I picked all these games up at once with like a $20 gift card. They were all like 99 cents or $1.99, but some of them, you know, I ended up highlighting for the Radaleka video, some for just the weird game spotlight. So yeah, McPixel, we've mentioned it in another video. It is great. Look at the lake of urine. So it is 5 levels per level. I guess each level is technically 5 areas, and it's just trial and error. You have to do different things. It's almost a point and click, but it's a little funner than that, and you just have to interact with each scene in order to do a certain thing, and then you have to play the scene again and again until you get all the options and you get the right ending, and then you move on. And yeah, it's really good. My daughter loves it. I have to say, though, when you can't solve it and it keeps repeating over and over again, it gets really tedious and annoying sometimes. But overall, just the thought and sense of humor that went into it is pretty great. All right, moving on to another one also featured on the Weird Games list, Jazz Punk. I just can't say enough about this game. Again, it's only a couple hours long, but just brilliant. It's got its own little world. You know, I love these games like BioShock, where they just transport you to just someplace bizarre and different, and you really feel like you're exploring this place. And again, speaking of a weird sense of humor, and yeah, these hands remind me of My Name is Mayo. You're picking the lock. You get it? Yeah, just a fun game, as you see here. The main missions themselves total maybe an hour and a half, but as you're exploring, you just find all this extra stuff that can expand the game to probably up to 4 hours if you want to do everything and 100% everything. But there is so much cool stuff, wrestling matches, just bizarre stuff, Blade Runner, like rip-off side missions, just so much to do and see in this game. It's great. Alright, now I've mentioned this one before as well, the Hong Kong Massacre. Now, you know, I liked the first Hotline Miami up to like level 4 or 5. Hotline Miami 2, I just couldn't get past the first level, and it's the same for this. This is just a death simulator for me, and I don't know why it's so unforgiving, but I cannot, to this day, get past this first level. And you're going to watch me die about, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 times here. But I love just you know, and I've seen some of the other levels and how they play out, you know, when I purchased it and saw the video. And I love the John Woo. It's a top-down John Woo thing. But again, it is aping Hotline Miami as well. But I like the aesthetic. It's well done. But it's just not playable or beatable for me. If I can't get past the first level of your game, I feel ripped off. You know, even if I only spent $2.99 on this thing, which I think I did. But yeah, help me get, or you know, as I die, maybe take down the difficulty. But there are no difficulty settings, of course. So it's just get good or die, and that's a shame. All right, moving on to Roll the Cat. We've talked about this one a lot too. Just a great puzzle game, and it looks so fun and innocent, but it is really hard. I should say it's very cutesy looking, but it's also hard, and hard as nails. But the visuals of it and then the sound of the game is very relaxing and is a great counterbalance to the stress of figuring it out. So you really take your time, and it's almost relaxing in that way. But again, you know, you get to like level 30 and it just becomes impossible, like all those games. All right, Twin Robots. I think this one was like 49 cents, and to me, it's not even worth 49 cents. It's a body switching game, and as I have said many times, I despise body switching games, and especially this one. I'm sorry, Radaleka, but it's just broken. Like, okay, I get the thing, and then, oh, I knocked my other self down, so now my other self's got to get up and jump up, and oh, I knocked my other self down. Wow, what a fun game, what a fun design. Yeah, all these body switching games are just garbage to me. So there you go, twin robots. Just no fun, unfortunately. All right, Redout Space Assault. Now, if you know Redout, it's basically a Wipeout ripoff. It's cars on cool future tracks, and apparently they made a Space Assault game. And I can't really compare it to Chorus because it's just level by level. But there are some levels that are you're on rails for half the time, and then the other half of the levels are exploratory, and you can just fly around everywhere. So it has both parts to it, and it's satisfying that way. And I'd have to say, this is even better than the Redout racing game. Like, I really like this, and the fact that this, I never heard of it, and then I saw it for $3.99 or $2.99, and I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. Well, apparently it just it must have disappointed some people for some reason, but if you like these kind of flying games, this one's really fun. It reminds me of the old school stuff. Redout Space Assault, check it out. All right, Rabisco Plus, another Ratalaika game. Ratalaika via Green Dinosaur, or Green Dinosaur via Ratalaika. It's basic, it's cute, you play on paper, but yeah, it's just you move through these levels, you collect stars and bananas, and the levels get harder and harder, of course. So, of course, me and Charlie are kind of like stuck at level 25 or 30, like all these games, and it's just a little tough, and you gotta, they all get to that point where they're just not quite as much fun as so. Oh, and look at this, that guy totally hit me, and it let me through. So, thank you, Ratalaika, for that broken moment. I appreciate it. All right, so moving on to Red Faction, and this was $2.99, and I was so happy to play this again. I have such great memories of this game, but unfortunately it has not aged well. I played it on PS2, I believe, back when it was a little old then, because Red Faction 2 was out, but yeah, it's a little tough. You get lost a lot. The level design isn't what's the word, intuitive, or yeah, like this level here, you got to climb up behind the rocks and get on that little what is it, conveyor belt, and go down into the tube, and it's just like, yeah, level design back then was a little janky still. Alright, moving on to the last 3 games of the night, and this I picked up for $1.99. It's 3 games. It's the indie, what is it called? The Indie Gems or something like that. The Short and Meaningful bundle. So these are all games that are short and meaningful, starting with Still Stand, which Jake recommended to me. And so far, it's been pretty interesting. It's like a playable comic book, and I really like it. It's creepy, and the visuals are certainly bizarre. But this one, I'm for sure going to keep playing. I just want to see how it keeps going. I don't know. It's just fun to press on these little boxes and just keep the story going forward. And rather than getting stuck in like a puzzle game or something like that, it's cool that they did it this way. As opposed to the next game we're going to talk about. Yes, it's a ROG, and A-R-R-O-G, and it should be great. It's beautiful to look at, just like Still Stand, but it is a puzzle game, and like I was saying, with all these puzzle games, as much fun and beautiful stuff as there is going on, you always get stuck on something. But look at this. It's the first 10-20 minutes are definitely worth playing, but I got stuck on this moment here, and they just don't give you much advice or anything, or any help into solving the puzzle, and so I just had to move on. Alright, so the final game of the night from the Short and Meaningful Indie bundle is Lydia, and I have to say, I was glad this was $1.99 because all these games were really interesting to play, and I'm glad that I bought it, and it is worth picking up if you can find it that cheap. Maybe it was $2.99, but dirt cheap. However, with a ROG, it had the puzzle element that, all the puzzle games, they always tend to stump you. I can get through some of them, but there's many where I just get to a point and I'm like, yeah, I'm done with you. This game, I haven't run into like a puzzle element yet. It's more of a playable story too, and you have choices on how you treat people and interact with them. But I can tell by the subtext that something unpleasant is happening. This game is about abuse or something like that, and so I'm already getting that ooky feeling, just like Among the Sleep, where you're like, oh, do I want to do this? Do I want to go on this journey? But anyway, there you go. That's all the super cheap games I picked up for like $20 altogether. If you see them on sale, check them out. All right, have a good night.